Hello everybody, this is Chris Campbell from Sake of Science, and this is me and Lucius starting our first blade attempt. We're starting with a big chunk of spring steel. I did not unfortunately record me uncoiling it and cleaning it off, but suffice to say it has been uncoiled and it has been cleaned off and ground both sides, and here we go. Hopefully this will work out well. And we are off. I tried to use the little man as much as I could, as much as I safely could, because obviously there are some dangers in there. But he's 12 years old and he's starting to learn a new skill, and he's doing okay. He needs to learn, though, that each hammer swing needs to have intention other than just smashing a piece of steel. But we're working right now on the tip and trying to get the tip where it needs to be, and I'm using techniques that I learned from YouTube and from Forged in Fire, watching mostly, and then reading up a little bit on what the intentions are. So Lucius gets a little excited when I'm swinging the hammer, apparently, because we're making a knife and he thinks that's the coolest thing ever. But he's a hard worker. He stayed with me almost 30 minutes, 40 minutes of swinging a hammer. So he's definitely staying tough and hanging tough. He did a great job. Again, Chris Campbell from YouTube land. I want to go over a couple things. We're going to work on the forge today. I got the forge heating up. What I want to do, the knife's in decent shape. So what I want to do though with this tang, it's too fat, it's too thick. I want to work it down and make the blade a little bit, or make the handle a little bit longer, so it matches my fist, which is a little short for that, and make a very ricasso that's specific, and then also work out this blade a little bit and work on this spine, try to tighten it up, make it look better. So it's going back and forth. We're going to work on this tang. Do you think it's working right? That's the plan today. Dropping the blade like that happened quite often, unfortunately, mostly because of inexperience and also really not having much of an idea of what I'm doing, being that this was my first try and first attempt at working with metal this thin. I'd made 2 sets of tongs at this point, and this was my first attempt at blade, obviously. But the problem I was running into was getting that tang narrow and thin without it folding over, and that became a big challenge. And it took at least an hour of me trying different techniques and trying different ways to actually get to go into place where it's supposed to be. Since this point, I've actually done some research on what I was doing wrong, and the next blade will hopefully go very, very well. But this one was certainly a challenge. Starting to look like a blade. I'm going to sharpen it up a little bit. Probably narrow down that tang a little bit more once I get my belts. Coming along. Pretty happy with that. Still need to work on that edge. A little wobbly. Hey, good morning. Chris Campbell from Sake of Science. Had a cool thing happen yesterday. Well, a very uncool thing. This pulley for my grinder, which isn't working right, is broken. So I went on a mission yesterday to try to replace it, and nowhere in the town that I live in sells pulleys easy. Otherwise I have to order from someplace with exact dimensions, and it takes up to 5 days, 6 days to get it. So I have no desire to do that, so I tried a new fix. I used epoxy. First of all, I welded it to keep together, and this kind of metal is not conducive to welding. It makes ridiculous sparks. But it held in the vise, and I got a little bead on it just to keep it together. Then I epoxied it with the Gorilla epoxy, 5-in epoxy, and wrapped spider wire, which is a type of Kevlar fishing line, really, really thick around it. A bunch of different wraps, probably 4 or 5 layers, all the way across the brake with the epoxy, and I believe that's going to hold it. I'm actually quite proud of that. It was my dad's idea. He said give it a shot. It turns it into like a carbon fiber or Kevlar fiber, if you will. So, pretty stoked with that. We're going to check to see how well it works today. Alright, that looks like what I would call a success. You should see here that I pinned up my blade to straighten out my tang. I had a little bit of a bend before the heat treat, but this looked like to me the best way to make it straight. And now you can see it is as straight as an arrow. So let's test out this new grinder. Hey everybody, it's Chris Campbell from Sega Science, and I'm just finishing up the grinding of my blade before the heat treat. I just want to show you a few things up close and personal here. If you look down the line, it's not bad. The edge geometry is pretty even for the bevels. Bevels on the side, not bad, not too shabby. The final grind obviously comes after I heat treat it. It's a full tang. I'm actually going to go ahead and bring this up in the forge and put a little bend right here on the tang. So the tang is bent just slightly, and it'll help me build up my handle. Then after that, heat treat time. So first I gotta get propane though, because I'm really low. So overall, for a rookie guy using a 1" by 42" grinder, which everybody laughs at, which I understand now completely why they laugh at, it's not bad. Got a little drop point, full tang, decent bevels, decent edge geometry. Overall, I'm pretty happy. So, and that's the end of this video. The next video will include the heat treat, the final grind, and the fit and finish. And you'll get to see the finished product of my first ever blade as a rookie novice, no knowledge whatsoever blade maker. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit click and subscribe.